Hey there, world. My name is Bill Reed Jr., and you are listening to The Movie Raid.
It's time for The Movie Raid. Tonight's victim is actor Bill Reed Jr., currently doing Park Dead, The Awakening, amongst others. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Fantastic. So what have we been up to lately? I heard that you've been doing a film called 48 Hour, as well as directing on this one.
I did. Team Vision assembled an amazing cast, crew, and me and my DP, cinematographer, Eric Vision Hoynes. He's amazing. Worked with him a bunch. We directed a short film in 48 hours. Cole Unslin wrote the script Friday night. We shot it Saturday, edited it Sunday, turned it in by, I think we got there at 7:21, so 9 minutes before the cutoff.
Very nice. Entering directing, is it more of a relief in terms of creativity for you, as in terms of controlling the moment and actions and what you're supposed to do as an actor? Is it a lot easier for you directing, where you can just kind of have an even flow directing moments and directing different kinds of scenes? That way you can just focus in a different direction?
The first time I directed, I starred in it with the whole cast, and that was rough to be on, and so this time I completely backed out and decided I'm just going to direct. But if you don't have that amazing crew behind you doing what they do and making you look good, in a sense, it's not going to pan out well, whether you're a good director or not. I've always thought visually. I see what I want. I created the whole set. I helped create the story. It was an amazing experience. Probably one of the best of my life, actually.
Well, can you tell us anything that you're allowed to talk about Park Dead, The Awakening?
I play Alan, and Alan goes to the park because he is an alcoholic, and it's the one place he can get away because he pretends to go fishing. He never even throws the line in the water. He's got a pole, though. Gets entangled in some pretty crazy supernatural stuff. My process and the way I kind of work things is I live organically through the character. So when I go into a role and I have to cry, I'm not thinking about my grandmother dying or my dog dying or anything like that. I'm living right there in the scene and how it emotionally makes me feel.
Do you think Idolism has become fixated in modern cinema?
I kind of feel like there's been a shift in the force. I mean, back in the day, it was all, Paramount, MGM, Universal. If it wasn't coming out of those studios, it wasn't getting seen. And nowadays, with the independent world, there are so many filmmakers out there that now have access to get their films out there, get their visions out there. There's so many different platforms. And now all the stars in Hollywood, if you watch them, they're starting to do more of these independent films that are going to Cannes and Sundance and that kind of stuff. Short release in the theaters, limited release or whatever, just because they're better stories. Cinema has always been a progression through the years, and would like to believe that true artists, the ones that are out there grinding, that have been doing it for years, that it's a passion, it's something that is in their blood, it's in their soul, that they can't deny it, they have to do it, it's part of their life. I think they will evolve and progress as it progresses. They've definitely opened the door for independent filmmakers. There's more grants, there's more funds, there's more ways to raise money, there's more avenues to get your visions out there and show your films. If you get acknowledged for your art, that to me is worth more than any monetary value. To have a director say to you, you are the most untapped talent in the state of Washington. For a director to say that to me is more than any money they could pay me to be on their set. The respect of my fellow peers, the fact that people hire me just because they know my ethics, they know my work, they know me as a person, they know just my character. That to me is worth more than any dollar amount. And I believe there are a ton of filmmakers out there that feel that same way. Yes, money is great, but I survive, and I'm doing what I love to do. Is that success? I would say yes.
Would you say value over vanity will progress even further for indie makers as the years go by, or do you think this is, at some point, it's going to go to a specific point, but we don't know exactly where it's going to go at this point?
You're always going to have the vanity. You're always going to have both sides of a coin. Life is a yin and yang. There's polar opposites for everything. You just surround yourself with where you're at and the kind of people that you attract to, and kind of stay away from that other world if it's not for you, I love all my film community to pieces, to the core of my soul. I love these people and would do anything for them at the drop of a hat. That's the world I've surrounded myself in. They're amazing artists, brilliant filmmakers, writers, producers, directors. I feel truly blessed. I'll be honest, Mike.
Are you more self-aware as an artist in terms of in this industry? Are you self-aware of that anything can manipulate an artist because, you know, you get that good offer, you get that good job, but at the same time, that good offer and that good job is only good for a certain extent. Sometimes it can be disguised as something else, and it's too good to be true. Are you self-aware as an artist in that kind of perspective view?
Oh, totally. Through the years, I put money into Faces International. I paid $500 back in the day in the early 90s, which is probably equivalent of like $1,500 now, you know, for a picture the size probably 3/4 of an inch by ½ inch in a book that's 2 inches thick. Is anybody going to see my face and cast me out of that? Hell no. So I have been suckered through the years, and I am very self-aware and very, I guess, thorough when I step into something to make sure that, you know, it's all on the go and go, up and up, I guess. I could give the listeners out there some advice. If there are artists out there, actors, that are just wanting to get into the business, I can tell you honestly, if you go to an agency and an agency tries to force you to take their photographer, if an agency asks you to take their classes, and if an agency asks for any money up front, they are not a legit agency. An agency is there to work for you, and it should not cost you a dime. They may recommend a photographer if you don't have headshots, but they can't force you to take a certain photographer. Not to name any names, before I got with Dramatic Artists years ago, went through some agencies, I checked with this one agent. I met her at a bumper shoot, and she was swooning me. She loved me, thought I was great, and made me take her photographer, and her photographer took pictures with me with my earrings in, because I had both ears pierced at the time, and that's bad from what I understand. So she let her photographer do this, and then I come back to audition for her, and she's like, "Oh, you're wearing jeans?" I said, "Well, what's wrong? I was in a shirt and a tie and jeans." She's like, "Well, it's not proper to audition in jeans." So I drove downtown Seattle to Ross at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, bought a pair of cargo pants, came back, auditioned, did my monologue, and she turned me down. It was brutal, but I mean, it was a huge learning experience for me. And like I said, I grow and I progress, you know, and I pay attention, and I never did that again. It's crazy.
Do you think the film industry sacrifices more than it should, and actors are suffering from it?
I guess that would depend on the artist himself. I mean, on what they're getting themselves into.
A lot of actors and a lot of other artists out there, even directors and so forth, these policies and everything that they might have been used to, like it's almost like with health insurance. Some people get health insurance easier. A lot of people aren't because of a certain age or certain abilities or whatever's whatever. And they're having a hard time to progress, get their vision out there because they have to go through certain other mediums to get what they need, unlike the other practices that was done in the film industry like 10, 15 years ago.
Actually, I think it was harder 10, 15 years ago than it is now.
As far as an actor goes, do you think another actor's influence or other type of influence can actually be a negative effect on them, or even yourself, or even be unnecessary sometimes in order to get these roles out there? I understand influence is great, but sometimes if you're feeding off on each other in terms of this influence, it might not be so great for you.
Oh, it's always great for me. And I don't know a ton about how the industry has changed. I just know how I got to where I'm at now. I could even pinpoint the moment. I'm enjoying every breath and every second of it. And I try just not to focus on the negativity because, you know, this is everything that I am. And if I focus on the negativity, then eventually the negativity will take over my positivity, or could take over my positivity. So with that being said, I try not to even associate with it. It's like surrounding yourself with the people that you want to surround yourself with, people that you want to achieve to be like. I admire every single artist that I encounter up here because I see that passion, I see that drive, and we all try to focus on the positives. I'm not your typical chip off the old block. I made a life choice a long time ago, and I choose happiness as a choice. So I wake up every day, and the glass is always half full, and if life decides to kick me here and there, I'm like, all right, give it to me, I can take it. And I believe that everything has a polar balance. And with that being said, even in my darkest times, there has to be some sort of light, or the scale would drop. So with that being said, I try to find the light as opposed to focusing on the dark. That's just kind of how I roll things. So with the negativity in the film industry, it's there. Corruption, it's there, because that's one thing that I will never have happen to me. It doesn't matter how big or how small I get. I will always still be Bill Reed Jr., Billy. I'm not going to change. I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm not going to be pretentious. I'm not going to go into a restaurant and be like, oh, well, how can you serve me that? Do you know who I am? That's ridiculous.
Well, go ahead and plug in any websites or any projects that we can check out right now.
Spider-Man 4 fan film on Facebook or Instagram. You can check out Park Dead. They Reach, which is a brilliant 70s horror film by Silas Dahl, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have a small role in that, probably 4 minutes of screen time, but I made the film, so I'm super excited. You can go to They Reach, like the trailer, watch the trailer. It's really scary. I have a feature on Amazon Prime, Penny Palabras, which was based off of a graphic novel. I played the Stroll Man. It was a great role, a lot of fun. I should check that out. You can follow me on Instagram at Love2Act, LOVETOACT. 1971, and I plan on directing more, so that is definitely the road I'm going down. You kind of reach a plateau and you need to take that next step. You need to swim a little deeper.
Well, very cool, man. That is actor and director Bill Reed Jr.
Well, thanks guys, have a wonderful night.